Hi, my name's Kate Mills and I'm the founder of ProfessionalMums.net, which is an online platform that looks to connect professional women who are mothers with professional job opportunities. This year I wanted to do a series of weekly videos that tried to share with you some of the things that I've learnt about flexible work from working at Professional Mums and some of the things I've learnt from putting women into flexible work opportunities. This first video is actually a bit of a framework video. Essentially, I wanted to give you an idea into how I approach it and what I think about flexible work. And when I think about flexible work and finding that perfect job opportunity, I actually think about it in terms of a kind of ladder progression, if you like, and that's what I'm going to take you through. I like to think at the bottom of the ladder in terms of sort of jobs for women and professional mums are a group of people who effectively are off the grid. And there's a woman who've taken a 2, 3, 4, 10-year career break and find it very difficult to get back into the market. Above that, we have what I call static working, and it's probably what most people do. And by static working, I mean you're working full-time or you're working in a role that does not have much flexibility, very much 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, with 4 to 6 weeks off a year. And that's how the vast majority of people work. And I think it's very particularly difficult for mothers to combine that kind of static working, where you don't have a lot of freedom, with family responsibilities. If I look above that and where we want to be progressing up this ladder, I think about an idea of the vast types of flexibility you get, which is actually around part-time work. And that's flexibility that's often in terms of where. So you might have some flexibility in terms of working from the office or working from home, and when, some flexibility in terms of you don't work the full week. So I call that flexibility in where and when. Where and when, like that. Flexibility in where and when part-time work is where I think the vast majority of professional mums would like to get themselves to. But what I'm going to talk about is some other steps that go beyond that. So if we take a step beyond that and you try to think about flexibility in what you actually do. So I call that flexibility in what. And that's actually about job redesign for the most part. And I think a type of job that you might think that fits here is actually the job share. So the job share, where a job is actually redesigned in order to fit people and to give them more flexibility. That's a great place to get to, and I think job share is one of the really growing areas in this market. But if you could possibly think about going even further beyond that, you get into an area which I'm going to talk about a lot over the next couple of weeks because I think it's a really important message. And it's the idea about the relationship between risk and reward, and that if you really want that kind of life where you've got flexibility, i.e. the reward, one way to get it is actually to think about taking on more risk. And a classic example of this, and I call this risk-reward ratio. One way to think about this really in terms of a concrete job is actually project work, where you'll have a project for 6 months, but you're not quite sure what's coming after that. A lot of people think that's not really flexibility, but I would argue back that if your children are at school age, then project work could be quite a good way for people to go if people can get over the kind of fear of not having that permanent long-term employment contract. And then beyond that, we've got a phrase that, we're starting to see being used quite a bit at the moment, which is called the agile worker. And the agile worker is somebody who, by it says is agile. They're quick, they're fast, they're responsive to organisations' needs, they're often in demand. But I think another way of thinking about them is, for example, project workers who become very specialised. So while project work looks really scary, if you're successful at it and you build up a series of different contracts working in different companies in a different area, the chances are you're always going to be very much in demand. So you become the agile worker, you're working at lots of different organisations, you've got quite a big network, and you're working in a very flexible manner. So this is the framework that I think about in Professional Mums in terms of, starting down here, off the grid and static working. I say if people are down here, that what we're really thinking about is that they are surviving. And we all know that feeling of just getting through, working long hours and having a family. If you get under here, there's flexibility in where and when, and also flexibility in what, the idea of job sharing. I would say that a lot of people in this area are actually thriving. They're able to get that beautiful work-life balance and combine having a career with their family. difficult to think that there's an idea above thriving, but I actually think there is a place where you are really flourishing, if you like you're having an absolutely great career and you're really managing to combine those two and you don't feel like you're giving anything up on either the home side or in terms of your career. And that's up here, and I call that shining. And what ProfessionalMums.net is about is really that conversation of how we can move from surviving as professional mothers to thriving and hopefully towards shining. So I'm going to be doing these videos every week. This is the first of about 50 videos that I've got planned. Really keen to get your feedback. Thank you.